Hola! Happy Friday, my friends. I'm late today. And I was sitting here waiting to go live. And then, oh boy, I got something going on here. And then I got distracted with coffee. My friends. Good morning. Happy Friday, TGIF, my friends. Oh gosh, do you ever scramble, like you're like ready for something and then you get caught up in something else and lose what you were doing? Nobody? Just me? I know that's not true. I know it's not true. Happy Friday, my friends. I love it. Oh my goodness. We got Kylie, Deanna, Amber, Janet, Lynn, Sarah. I love it. I was just refilling my coffee cup here. My extremely full coffee cup. I was refilling again. Mama Hootsek took the baby off to college yesterday. It's another season, Mama. Kim, good morning. Sarah, good morning. Kim, good morning. Corey, hey, coaches in clutch. Happy Friday. Daily, I do that, coach. I knew I wasn't alone. Kirsten, good morning. Carrie, good morning. I made it to a coffee talk. Getting into this crazy routine. I got it. I totally get it. And whatever, right? We roll with it. We're always here. Monica, hello. Karen, good morning. Slept in. Off to do on demand. Well, Chuck and I are not doing lives tomorrow or Monday. I hope to sleep in. But that doesn't work in our house because of our 4 dogs. Anybody have dogs? They are so, what's the word? Regimented? Is that the word? Or habitual? Like when they get up at a certain time, they don't know it's the weekend. If they get up at 4 a.m., you can bet that on Saturday morning at 4 a.m., the shepherd starts to whistle in her bed, hoping that we'll wake up and get up with her. Deanna, Karen, me too, just as soon as we're done here. I love it. Erica, good morning. Laurie, happy Friday. Stacy, good morning. Tammy, good morning. Tammy, routine. Yes, the dogs are very routine. The only time our dogs want to step out of routine is when it comes to their second meal of the day. Then they want it like 2 to 3 hours earlier. Becca, good morning. We'll be doing on demand after coffee talk, but I'm so happy to be here right now. I love it. Like 3 of you are going to do on demand. You should try and do one of those chat rooms. I don't know. Does that work though with a video? I don't know. All right. Coach Chuck is going to be joining me shortly. Camille, good morning. Jackie, good morning. Karen, we're blessed with a good sleeper. Kids and dogs are quiet as long as it's quiet. Our dogs are not like that. They are not like that. All right. Before we get into that, I'm going to share something with you guys. It has been a crazy week for me. So last Friday, I had my very first ever episode of vertigo. And I have been dealing with vertigo every day since last Friday. My friends out there, do any of you deal with vertigo? And how do you deal with vertigo? Like, it makes me feel loopy, and I'm curious. I know Lisa out there has dealt with vertigo, but what do you do for it? I don't know. It's a very odd sensation, and it makes me feel very much not like myself. So I'm curious. It's been an odd week for me trying to deal with this and everyday life at the same time. I would love some insight from anybody. Tammy, yes, it's about an hour before dinner time. It's the stare down. Kristen, dang, I'm doing it on demand also, but not until this afternoon. Debbie, good morning. Camille, I saved ladders to do with Eden this AM. I love it. Kylie, I have vertigo. Dina, I have vertigo. Amber, try a physical therapist. I will, yes, if this isn't cleared up by next week, because now it's been a week, I will absolutely take this further. See a therapy doctor, Dina. I see a therapy doctor who treats me for vertigo. Kylie, I've been to a physical therapist and had eye therapy, and it didn't help. And it's my right eye.
I'm an Aries.
I'm a Pisces.
No, you said you're a Virgo.
I said I'm
You're experiencing Virgo.
Vertigo. Good morning, coaches
vertigo.
and media. My mom did and saw a chiropractor for help with it. Good morning. We'll be on demand after coffee talk. Mike works with people with vertigo. All right, I might have to seek that out. I don't know. I'm going to try and do some crazy exercises and lodge the crystals back into place.
WebMD. WebMD. Acupuncture. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Acupuncture. That sounds like fun.
Oh, good. Did someone say acupuncture?
Yeah.
It don't. Oh,
Jason
right
and
there.
Carrie.
Right there. Acupuncture. Okay.
Send us your acupuncturist.
It is the most bizarre feeling. I've been a complainer all week. I have. Go ahead. Tell them.
It's been so. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right. Today's title is Pain versus Pleasure. So I want you guys to think about what is it you want to change. I know that even though we are all really successful, we're all moving forward, there's always something we want to change. And it seems to be that thing that we're constantly talking about. Now, why do you want to change that thing? Is it the pain of what this action is causing? Or is it the pleasure of what the outcome would be if you gave that up? Should I keep
going?
Rolling? Okay. So our goal, now you told me this Tony Robbins quote. What was the Tony Robbins quote?
Yeah, there are two things that motivate humans. It's either moving further away from pain or closer to pleasure.
So the very first step in wanting to move away from this pain is catching yourself taking an action towards this pain, which a lot of times we don't want to even recognize it until after it's done. Anybody? We know as we're doing it that we really don't want to be doing it, but we will not take time to recognize it's done until it's done. AKA late night snacking, right? We reach for that bowl, we reach for the popcorn or the ice cream or whatever it is, and we consciously know that we're doing this. But we don't let it hit us. We don't let what the outcome of that is going to be until after it's done.
Doing great, Coach.
You're
So the original title was going to be Catching Yourself in the Act.
Catching yourself in the act. So you have false pleasures, which are really instant gratifications. You take it from there. Let me drink my coffee.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of times it boils down to catching yourself in the act, right? Like it is, talked about this yesterday on the new Nugget. When everybody else is away, right? Like when you're by yourself, what are you doing? Are you integrity with what it is you're trying to achieve? Or are you masking your pain with temporary pleasure? Because humans are significantly more motivated, even though if we don't recognize it, by moving away from pain than we are moving towards pleasure. I think we've been taught that, we desire these things that are out in front of us. I want what she has or he has, right? I want the car, I want the house, I want the better life, I want the better job, I want the banging body, I want what she's got, she's got, Cover Shape magazine, this actor, this actress, this kind of thing, right? Like that's a pleasurable outcome. But what we really want is we want to feel less like crap.
Right.
We want to feel less like crap, but what we end up doing is we mask that with temporary pleasure, which ends up putting us further down the rabbit hole, right? I want to get further away from pain. I want to feel less like crap. What do? I start indulging. If this is you, type me in the box. If you can relate to this, I do the late night snacking, right?
The late night glass of wine, right?
Sugar,
you
cookies,
felt pain
Starbucks.
all week. You felt pain all day. Now that doesn't necessarily mean physical pain. It usually means emotional pain. It usually means stress. And that's where we go to get that instant gratification from whatever it is we're trying to change.
Yeah, so again, if you guys can relate to this, raise your hand, drop an emoji in the box, type me. If any of this, if you can relate to this. So like last year from March to August, Coach Roxanne and I, we were denying the fact that we were stressed out, mega big time, right? Stressed out. We didn't know what was going to happen with our business. We had no idea, what was going on with the state of just the universe per se. All this stuff was new. The stress of dealing with, Wilhelmina was living at home at the time, her senior year of high school. We started letting things back in.
I would tell you, when things would get high stress and she wasn't looking, I would look at Chuck and I would go like this. That was my sign
language for
I need a drink. I need a drink. I need a glass of wine. That was how I coped.
Right. So it becomes, I mean, we ended up drinking, my goodness, it was like 1 to 2 glasses of wine a night. Right. And we've shown you guys the pictures, what happened over the course of 6 months. It wasn't that for a lack of exercise.
No.
It wasn't for lack of exercise. It was for a lack of looking at ourselves in the mirror and dealing with this pain of where we were. And we were, pouring ourselves into sugar and alcohol and all of these poor habits, right? We were going down the rabbit hole.
Kirsten said, I am a master justifier. And I will tell you, I have been there too. I still will catch myself doing it, but I don't know. I have now created this ability to talk to myself. When I am reaching for something or I am going to do something, I will say out loud, Roxanne, what are you doing? I have learned I have to verbally say that. I have to say it so that I recognize I am taking an action that I told myself I wasn't going to take. Now, does that always stop me? Not always, but enough. Yeah. Often enough.
And it's interesting because we've talked a ton about this, about making a declaration, about being committed to creating change and transformation, right? And that's like a big first step, is verbalizing it. But I think a lot of people, myself included, all of a sudden get trapped into this mindset of, I have to be perfect. Well, now I made this declaration. Now I have to do so many workouts. I have to be perfect on my nutrition. I have to make massive sacrifices, and I have to completely flip my life on a 180. Sacrifice and discipline are required. Consistency is required. Courage and conviction are required. But this is a step-by-step process. You don't get to the top of Everest in a day, right? So that's the thing. You have to just keep coming back and back and back and back. But what you do need to do is draw a line in the sand. And this whole pain versus pleasure conversation, there's a difference between when 20 years ago, when I saw the pictures that when I saw my brother and how he had changed, and he had lost 75 pounds, and he showed me the book, and I looked at the pictures of all these people that had created change, there was one part of me was like, I want that. I want to have what my brother has. He's got newfound energy, confidence. He's lost 75 pounds. And I looked at all these pictures. I'm like, I want that. I want that. I want that. I want that. But there's a difference between that, and there's a difference between saying, I don't ever want to feel this way ever again in my life. I don't want to have this I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to deal with the lack of energy. I don't want to feel the guilt and the shame that I'm experienced by pouring myself into late night binge sessions of ice cream and Pop-Tarts and pizza and eating and drinking 6 Mountain Dews. There's a difference between that, right? There's a difference between looking at myself in the mirror and being like, I feel like crap. I physically feel like crap. I don't fit in my clothes. I don't like the way I look. I don't have energy. I'm constantly tired. I don't ever want to go back to that.
Right.
That's a motivator far and beyond than being like, I want to have the six-pack. I want to have the muscles. That's all great. But pain versus pleasure, we have to put ourselves in a position of power by recognizing our pain and stop sedating ourselves with temporary pleasures.
Right.
Like the late night eating and the alcohol and the sugar and the binge sessions.
So Deanna said, I made a lot of improvements in this area. However, last night I ate a half a sleeve of saltines before I snapped out of it. So this next little thing I'm going to read, Deanna, is, and Lynn said, yes, the mindless eating. You have to figure out when these things are happening. Figure out when so you can recognize why they're happening. Why does it happen in the evening? Yeah. Is it because your week was stressed? Your day was stressed? Are you bored? Is nobody there to watch you? Like when and why? You have to figure these things out. Michelle, after working with the coaches, I've learned to see my excuses and I'm working to talk those excuses away and do what's right for my body, not my mind or thoughts. I love it. Deanna, yes, again, so much better with mindsets. It's joining, but it still creeps in. And we're not perfect either. Just so you know, we are human. We're not perfect. Carrie, I've been struggling with the aftermath of food poisoning for a week now. And for some reason, I had triggers to turn to sweets just to feel better. Kind of different situation, but I asked myself why, and I'm on the mend now. Yes, the fact that I haven't felt
temporary pleasure, that's why.
Yep, you've been feeling like crap. So in that moment, you want something that your mind remembers used to feel good. I haven't been feeling good this week. So at the end of every day, I have the same feeling. I don't feel good. I just don't feel good. So I want something that used to feel better.
This may sound kind of biblical, but we are creatures of the flesh.
We
are creatures of the flesh. We desire temporary pleasure, temporary temptation. Lead me not into temptation, right? This is a biblical thing on a certain level. I do believe it because we are constantly tempted. Constantly. Now, again, it's not to say that some of that stuff in moderation or, whatever, a little bit here, a little bit there, that's like the finance conversation. If you have your finances in order and you have built up wealth, being able to go out and buy things here and there that you enjoy is not a big deal. I'm going to go out and spend, $10,000 on a vacation for us, and we're in a position to do that. That's great. But if you're not in a position to do that, and you're $50,000 in debt, and you're going to open up a credit card to go put a $10,000 vacation on, that's of the flesh. That's being needy. That's making a bad decision, because what's going to happen in 6 months, 12 months, 2 years from now, you'll have temporary pleasure on that vacation. You'll have massive loads of regret for putting yourself an additional $10,000 in debt. Same conversation with your body.
Yes.
Same conversation with your body.
So just like a weight loss goal, you can't force it. You cannot force a weight loss goal. We try. It's the same for your mindset change. You cannot beast mode a mindset change. We say for 21 days, I'm going to give up this, or I'm going to do a smoothie, but we're only thinking about the 21 days. And in that 21 days, we're not thinking about day 22, day 32, day 42. We're only thinking about beast moding. Even though it's good habits, we think we're still beast moding those days. We have to think about long term. If you aren't going to do a smoothie for the rest of your life, I don't know that it pays to continue to do the smoothie. If you're not going to try and be active for the rest of your life, what are you trying to do right now? If you're not going to stay hydrated for the rest of your life, why are you hydrating right now? You have to start asking yourself these questions and get really serious about what your end game is. And for me, I don't have an end game. Everything I do, I am looking at doing for the rest of my life.
And try not to take that out of context.
Right.
She's not saying, well, if you're not going to be perfect with 7 smoothies a week, don't do it.
No, right,
That's
right,
the all in.
Right, yes.
I'm all in on me to create a change, a significant change.
I'm going to do 4 smoothies a week.
Right,
That's
I'm all
great.
in on me, but it's not an all or nothing. So Deanna, yes, trigger was boredom. I should have just gone to bed. So we've talked about HALT. Hungry, alone, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Is that what it is?
Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Yes. And if it's not, it sounds good.
Right. So I'm either hungry, right? I'm angry, emotional. I'm alone. I'm alone, lonely, boredom, or I'm tired. Anyways, HALT. Look it up. Google it. It's something like that. It's very similar, right?
Yep.
Recognize your triggers. We have 40 people on here right now. I know not everybody has the ability to type, but I would love to know. Right now, catch yourself in the act. Do you recognize, do you know what your trigger is? Is it late nights? Is it boredom, right? Is it emotional eating? Is it a certain room in the house where you tend to do things? Is it on your drive to work or back home from work where you pull into McDonald's or Wendy's or Culver's or Quick Trip or the gas station or whatever, right? First piece that we can do is identify what these situations are and proactively, right? Catch yourself in the act.
Jackie said tired. Ooh, that is a big trigger. Emotional and stress. Those are huge triggers. And I want to go back to what Deanna said. So Deanna grabbed the sleeve of crackers and ate half of them. But I don't want you to just not do that. Go to the sleeve of crackers, grab 5 of them out of there, put them on a plate, go sit down and enjoy them. Don't deprive yourself. I'm sure you could have eaten them without guilt or shame, but the guilt and shame probably came when you sat down with the sleeve, and then a half a sleeve later, you're like, what did I do? Grab that sleeve, take out what you want, put the sleeve away.
Yeah, because what do? We open up a bag of chips. We open up a sleeve of crackers. We take the lid off the ice cream and grab a spoon and we eat out of the ice cream pail. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
That's what I loved. I love to grab the ice cream and just skim off the top. Or I'll grab the jar of peanut butter and I'll skim
and
off
1,800 calories later, right? 1,800 calories later.
Sarah said, BBF has really helped me with my mindset. So thankful my doctor recommended I listen in. Thank you for your messages. I love that. I love that. All right, now you have to remember, change takes time. Now, if you're still talking about wanting to change the same things that you were talking about 6 months or a year ago, how do you really take action? You have to recognize. But change does take time. I don't imagine that you're never going to have a moment where you eat the sleeve of crackers again. Like, you're human. We get it. But how can we make that happen less and less and less? Carrie, the kids eating the snacks. How can we make it? Do you have a healthy snack that when your kids eat, you have a healthy snack with them? Or, a half a halo or whatever it is. How can we just shift so that when we're done with it, we're not like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I didn't need to do that. How can you participate but still feel good about your goals, about the outcome of it? You need to face your demons.
Yeah, okay, perfect segue, because we're going to wrap this thing up here. And it's so easy to be captivated by marketing, right? That we're constantly being marketed to, right? We have marketing messages. This is marketing right now because we believe in our message. We are trying to lead you down a path that we have walked, that we are walking. We have certain beliefs that we want to share with you. We're marketing to you right now because we want to lead you down a proper path. But there are images out there. You're being constantly bombarded by Facebook images, magazine articles. You type something in Google, it's all over the place. And people want you to believe what they want you to believe. But what she just said there is so important. And I think it's very, before we get off here, it's easy to look at things and have desires. It's easy to have a desire to take you to a place where you currently are not. And I get that. That's like, we're all programmed for it. We all see it. I want to go. I want, maybe it's a new house, or it's a vacation, or it's financial security, or it's retirement, or it's better relationship, better marriage, better blah, 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 whatever, right? A desire to see what's out there. But you absolutely must audit your life today.
Yep.
You have to get an understanding of your where are you today? What are your habits? What are your triggers? What are the things that you need to create change around? Because if you just go and grab this program and you just shift your focus to just this program, this is the perfect. When you tell your kids to clean the room, you're like, clean your room. And you come back and like, I'm done. No, you didn't just clean your room in 15 minutes. And then you open up the closet door and all their crap is in the closet and underneath their bed. They didn't clean their room. They rearranged stuff. They changed their room. They didn't transform it. They didn't clean it. There's crap under the bed and crap in the closet. Mom and dad says, I'm going to come back in 3 hours from now. You're going to take all that crap, throw it away, and you're actually going to clean your room, and you're going to put it in a way that is sustainable.
Right. Did you want to finish?
Well, I just want you guys to paint the analogy of that's really what we're trying to get you guys to do. We need to make sure we clean out the crap. We need to be honest with ourselves, really, in what is causing these things to happen.
And that's great. I want to take that and lead into Deanna's comment here. She said, confession. If I eat so much sometimes from a bag or a box, I feel like I should just finish it instead of putting it back almost empty. Do you know what we do? The habit that we've created, and we are the same as you. Don't think that we're different because we're coaches. We throw things away all the time. If something comes into our house that is a trigger for us, that yes, we will eat until it's gone, we will throw it away before we have the chance to eat it.
So we had cake and ice cream. We sent the cakes with the kids. The ice cream stayed here. We spent Monday and Tuesday, we had ice cream. I was like, we cannot do this. We cannot do this. I turned the hot water on, melted it all, got rid of it.
Threw it away. That is one habit after the holidays, or like when we go by Chuck's mom, she was legendary for sending stuff home with us. I have to be the person now, and this is sometimes a struggle. I have to be the person that says, no, we can't take that home. And usually there's a little bit of a battle, but we don't, because what will happen? It's going to be a trigger that we constantly want to eat, and then we end up throwing something out. I would rather she threw it out. I don't want to bring it home to throw it out. Why?
Jackie. So awesome.
I love that.
Awesome.
I wanted ice cream, took out the container, started walking to the living room, but stopped and knew I didn't want to eat it all.
Here's a huge piece of advice. I know we're going a little bit long, but we're not going to be with you guys earlier next week. Here's a big piece of advice if you've made it this far. Things tend to happen in the same environments, in your car, at work, at a certain room in your house, at a certain time. Think about your environment. Take notice. Now, a lot of you might be going out of town. You might go camping. This might be an environment. Every time we go camping, every time we go to the cottage, every time we leave town, Deanna told me, I'm gonna put Nick out there. I'm gonna put Nick on the hot seat. She's like, hey, when we travel, Nick likes to have snacky foods when we drive. I am guilty of that too. What do? I pull to the gas station. I'm like, I want some trail mix, which is completely unhealthy, by the way. Right? And I'll eat 700 calories of trail mix by the time we're to Milwaukee. Environments, right? Environments can exacerbate like these bad habits.
Yes.
So pay attention to your environments. Change your environment. Or like Jackie, she recognized she's putting this together. Environment trigger.
She grabbed her ice cream, started walking with it, and said, what am I doing? She went back, she made herself a serving and put it away. That, yes, you have to start to recognize before these things happen. You have to change the action before the action happens. Usually you're catching yourself as you're about to do it, but you have to be conscious enough to catch yourself.
So we're going to be done now. All right, but I want you to tattoo this in your mind. Catch yourself in the act. Catch myself in the act.
Yes.
Catch myself in the act. Catch myself in the act. Not for guilt and shame.
Nope.
Now, I want you to catch yourself in the act before it happens, and I want you to catch yourself in the act of doing something that serves you.
Yes.
Catch yourself in the act now of doing something that serves, right? Jackie, she did a 180, went back, did the portion, put it away. So she caught herself in the act twice. One, turn around, back and do what's going to serve her, and that's important.
Right. Yes. Recognize the wins. Yes, not just the losses, and they aren't even really losses. It's just being aware. But make sure you recognize your wins, my friends. All right, that's where we're going to leave it. We hope you guys have a fantastic holiday weekend. We will not be live on Monday. We have Coffee Nuggets on Tuesday at 7 a.m.
So both of us on Tuesday.
Yes.
And I'll only have 2 nuggets next week.
Oh my goodness.
I'll have a Wednesday and Thursday nuggets. It's a weird week next week, but
It's
I'll
a
be
weird
back.
week.
So I'll be back with her on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday nuggets.
All right, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
We'll go from there, my friends. We love you all. Go out, have a fabulous weekend, and remember, discipline does not mean deprivation.
Have a happy weekend, wonderful weekend. We love you guys. Bye.